Dear participant, the public prosecution in Egypt, which I represent, is part of the judiciary. It's one of the most competent authorities to fully implement international conventions and agreements, those related to human rights, which Egypt has ratified. All members of the public prosecution in Egypt from various grades are judges acting independently without interference from any authority. The public prosecution in Egypt is an investigative and prosecutorial authority. It is competent to take measures in all criminal procedures, investigation and prosecution, and takes measures to protect witnesses and victims according to international law and international commitments in a framework of integrity and transparency. Since 2020, our public prosecution has been fully digitalized, and all measures can be immediately tracked by the supreme judicial authorities, and services are provided to everyone in easy, safe and complete manner. The legal recommendations on the work of the public prosecution are about, first, to promote guarantees to the accused in the pre-trial phase. Before initiating any measures, the public prosecution notifies the accused in the presence of his lawyer about the sanctions, the evidence, if he has witnesses from the prosecution or the defense, and he has the right to have a defense counsel, the right to remain silent and to contact his family. The public prosecution receives complaints from legal and physical persons from Egypt and from outside Egypt by any channels, namely legal channels and public channels. We have revised the legal position of all accused detained in the pre-trial phase. There is not a single person in jail in Egypt contrary to the law, and we resort to alternatives to pre-trial detention whenever this is possible. Recently, for instance, we have released a number of persons accused in pre-trial detained in pre-trial detention for terrorism charges, and 716 of them have been released. In the field of countering torture, we act transparent and efficient manner. We undertake monitoring and supervision of all detention facilities and rehabilitation facilities, and we have also public information material where we preserve the privacy of the inmates. We have engaged in 20 investigation and monitoring campaign for 20 detention and rehabilitation centers and 17 police stations since from September 2023 until January 2025. We have also issued a practical guidebook for monitoring and investigation techniques that has been distributed to all facilities and police stations. We are continuing on providing training to all law enforcement agencies, and we have established a library for child protection and protection of elderly and persons with disabilities. We cooperate with our state agencies and international counterparts. We have been able to dismantle a number of terrorist networks, and we have notified other countries about the presence of foreign fighters or terrorist cells or illegal funders without any abuse of human rights. Our public prosecution is a guarantor of the fundamental judicial rights without any abuse of human rights.